my mission for you was to come up with three cars, um, a fun car, a utility sort of vehicle, SUV, pickup truck, whatever, and an everyday driver. Welcome back to Car-Pinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. I'm Doug Stewart, digital executive producer for Fox 61 in Hartford. And joining me in this endeavor is Glenn Packman from beautiful Fairfield County, where he is a improv comedian of great renown and a great interior designer. And also from the heart of the WBBM conference room in Chicago is Jeff Buchholz, who is a writer and editor there at that station. All right, gentlemen, I gave you a challenge when we were prepping for this. Suddenly you've been gifted $200,000, and irrespective of sales tax, title, and dealer prep, uh, we my mission for you was to come up with three cars, a fun car, a utility sort of vehicle, SUV, pickup truck, whatever, and an everyday driver. And that was your mission. So, Glenn Packman, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you tell me what three cars that you have picked out.
Okay. Some of my choices are, I'm going to look for your approval because they're going to be newer cars that might not be quite available yet. The first place on my mind went to because of the sheer exterior appeal was the Land Rover Defender, but the common sense practical side of me would not buy that car. It's just I think they're just known for not being put together all that well and being very expensive to fix. So if we're going to go down that sort of road with the angular, blocky, very trucky sort of appeal, the new Toyota Land Cruiser ticks a lot of those boxes. And we know it's going to be put together well. Very sharp car, very SUV oriented. I would be comfortable taking it off road, although I don't know how much it's built for off-roading, but my only other thing that I might want to go with if I wanted to haul some more people or be a little bit more comfortable, the Cadillac XT6 is, I think, of the GM Chevy Acadia lineup. That would be the Buick Enclave, etc. I think the XT6 is the nicest looking one of the bunch. And as somebody who's driving a Buick right now, I can tell you GM's done a really nice job with their interiors, good tech, really nice layouts inside the car. So, but all that being said, for that SUV niche, I think the Land Cruiser would be the way to go. Sidebar, because we're going to talk about this in a future episode, but the upcoming Honda Passport also goes down that same lane. So that would be something to consider as well. But that's upcoming. All right. Daily car. And this is going very much against my grain. I think you're going to be surprised, but I really, really, really like the new Cadillac Optique.
Okay.
It's a very sharp car. I think if I was going to do three cars, I would want that one to fill the electric niche for just driving around town and doing stuff for work. So that works. And it's just kind of funky and kind of cool. And I like the GM vibe lately. So that, and if not that, because it's brand new, my little Encore GX that I've had for 6, 7 months now has been a terrific little car. It's not perfect. And I am concerned about its longevity, but for a car that has 3 cylinders under the hood, it's amazingly peppy. And I've told you 1,000 times, it's comfortable and easy to drive. So that would be another one that would be on my list. But I'm really interested in the Optique, like really, really, really interested in this car.
Interesting.
So yeah, look it up. It's a little bit. I think it's going to be the smallest
I
electrical
believe
offering
so.
the
Yeah.
Cadillac is going to have. So, and now that I'm a man of a certain age, comfort means a little bit more than like going. Well, I like going real fast still, but the handling thing I'm sort of putting on a back burner in favor of something that's better on my aching back. For the fun to drive car, will you gentlemen allow me to put the new Charger as my choice?
It's your money, Glenn. It's
Okay,
your
it's
money.
I don't even know how much it's going to cost. I'm assuming it's going to take up the rest of the $200,000, but boy, do I want to drive this car when it comes out. And it's a little unfair for me to put a new car that isn't really in production there yet.
Well, are
So,
you first? Let's refine this a little bit. Are you talking
okay,
about the Charger with an internal combustion engine, or are you talking with it as an EV?
yes. Um, I honestly, I want to drive both and see which one speaks to me, to be honest with you. So it could go either way, but I'm just another car that I'm visually enamored with, and it's sort of a cheap out because it's like, oh, you're just going to buy your fun car based on how it looks. Yes,
Yes.
yes, I would do that. Doug introduced me as the guy who knows interior design. Of course, looks matter over function. Come on. Um, but to that end, if we disqualify that car because it's not out there, then I would just go with one of two tried and true options: the Miata, which we covered in a previous podcast, or the Volkswagen GTI. I know both of those are going to be easy to drive. They're going to be tons of fun. They're not going to be real big, so it would be either one of those. But if I had the money, I would be like hanging out for that new Charger and then waiting when they have the first one in stock so I could take it for a test drive.
They are in stock
Those are my
now, and
options. Yeah.
they are in
Look.
stock now, and they have tremendous discounts too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why am I sitting? Bye. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's too late at night, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that's the big mystery of Stellantis. Like we bring out cars and no one knows that they're selling them.
And yeah, exactly.
And
I don't
why
even
are
know
we selling any cars?
where do I buy one? Yeah, I don't even know. I'd have to
Yeah.
check. Yeah, there was a Chrysler dealer in Norwalk, so maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
Well, no,
yeah,
it's got to be a Dodge dealer.
what's that?
It's got to be a Dodge dealer. It can't be a
Oh,
Chrysler
oh, oh.
dealer.
Well, I think if memory serves, I think they
Is it
sold all
Scap?
the no. And here's the crazy thing. They were walking distance from our old house, and I cannot remember. I'll get back to you with the name.
Okay.
Now I can't
All right.
remember. So great
It's fine.
dealership. That's where we got our 200 from when
200. Yeah.
we bought the 200. So,
Yeah.
but for those of you who aren't familiar with the Optique, look it up. It's really kind of cool. I
It's
like
making
the
nice look.
lyric. I like the lyric a lot. I actually sat in one because I on a job just recently. I met up with the realtor who just got one in that electric blue shade, and darn, what a nice looking car.
Mhm.
And he was just in love with this thing. It's a little bit bigger than I would want for my daily driver. And then they came out with the Optique. So that being said, I still have to make fun of Cadillac with all these names that sound like Cirque du Soleil shows. Ladies and gentlemen, Optique. Okay, I'm going to cut that out now. Okay, I will never do that again. So,
I
Uh,
mean, look, I think Lyric and Optique are still better than the alphanumeric
yeah,
stuff that
True.
they've been
I
doing
agree.
for a
Yeah.
while.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
But
As demonstrated, they're easier to remember.
yes, exactly. That's true. Yeah. So, for those of you that didn't see take one, I got the XT6 wrong in take one, so this is take two. But yeah. You're right. Yeah, they are easier to remember, but I still think you
Yeah.
got
I mean, we've done naming stuff before, so we don't have to
yes.
get into it again. So,
Those are my choices.
great, Jeff.
Beat
Bring
them up
us.
in the comments below. Okay.
Jeff will bring his homey Midwest charm to this discussion, I'm sure.
So, Doug will not be surprised that Doug will not be surprised that the first car I wanted to put on this list would have been the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Then I looked up the MSRP and I realized that I would have to give back $30,000. It shows you how long it's been since I bought a new car. So I've had to downsize my taste just a teensy-weensy bit. And I've come up with this three-car solution, the perfect three-car garage, if you will. The SUV, I went back and forth on this a little bit. And the final garage is weighted pretty heavily in one area, but I'm still going to stand by it. The SUV is the Kia EV9, which is you want to talk about an angular, chunky sport utility vehicle. The Kia has that in spades.
Right.
It's incredibly comfortable. The electric platform that the Hyundai Kia Group are running is very good and very sophisticated. It's just an incredibly handsome car with some great kind of surprise and delight features, like, you know, customizing the lighting signature up front, which is a silly bit of, you know, showmanship, but it works and I respond to it. The range is really good. And the reason I'm picking the EV9, the other reason I'm picking the EV9 is because I can't pick a Scout yet because they're not made.
Yeah.
The fun car, I will follow Glenn's lead and I will take a GTI while I still can. My hope is that I can find one. I don't know that you can get them with manual transmissions anymore.
No, I think
So
like
I will do
This year.
the last one that they made is apparently at some dealership in Billings, Montana or something.
Oof,
Anyway.
that hurts.
Well, then pack your bags, guys. The Simpsons are going to Montana. We're gonna find a new GTI somewhere with a manual transmission, and that's the one we're gonna get. And we're gonna make sure it has plaid seats too, the way the Lord intended.
That's right.
It is rightfully, it is the hot hatch king dating back to the 70s, 80s in the US, but the 70s for sure. It is. You know, we've talked about cars sticking to the brief and understanding their lane, and the GTI, even though I don't love a lot of VW's driver interface stuff, the GTI is still that guy, and it's still that car. And I still want one very, very badly. I would really love to have one of the Gen 2 16 valves, but we're trying to stick to new cars here and not turn this into a Mecum auction thing again. So the daily driver will be our second entry from the country of South Korea. It will be the car that I've gone on and on and on about in these podcasts, in much the same way that Glenn goes on about the Buick Encore. Which is really weird because I don't own one of these. It's the Kia K4.
Okay.
I've been seeing them on the road a lot now, and I suspect because they're in rental fleets. But I'm still impressed by how handsome they are, how very reasonable they are for the amount of equipment available for a sub $25,000 four-door sedan. It's really remarkable. And a 2-liter engine, which is also getting more remarkable, particularly when you consider that, you know, the current entry-level offerings from the Chevrolet and Buick motor divisions have turbo 3-cylinder engines. To have a 2-liter 4-cylinder in a Civic class car is really something. The equipment's great, price is right. It's really a striking car. It has it's crazy that a $25,000 entry-level sedan has a higher level of equipment almost than, you know, the entry luxury car from 2000 that I drive every day. The march of time is really crazy in terms of what the market wants in terms of car features. So those are my 3, and I think I'm going to get some change back, which I will then convert into singles and roll around on in my bed.
There you
Take a
go.
video of that, please. Yeah. I
Okay.
can comment. Those are great choices.
Yes. Yeah.
The
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
Well-rounded.
It
Yeah.
is very much like the electric version of the Telluride, which is also a car that's worth mentioning because, man, Kia did a great job with that car. I mean, it's just it's a budget brand that people where I live treat like it's a luxury vehicle. They are coveted here. And it's crazy. I'm like, and a couple of years ago, Kia, ew, I'm not driving a Kia. Now it's like people are getting just about in fistfights to get a hold of the Telluride.
it has replaced the Escalade in the Starbucks parking lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, the Escalade
Yeah.
is big now. I mean, it
Yeah.
was always big, but now it's big, big, big. It's a
That's
tank.
true. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug,
Me?
you?
Well, I I fretted and sweated over this. I originally for the utility vehicle, my heart originally said the Ford Bronco. But the more I look at the Ford Bronco, I want it to be the Scout. I want it to look like the Scout, and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. And it's a matter of taste and whatever. It's and if it didn't have the exterior, I'd be happy with the interior, but I can't. It just doesn't work for me. So I went with the top of the line Ranger XLT. That's not the Raptor. The Raptor was didn't fit the money. Um, but I've always liked Rangers. I think they're the right size for a pickup truck. And at 43,000, I thought, that's a good price right there. The XLT will have enough equipment, all the bells and whistles that you would want, and ride nice, and won't have a sunroof, but will live. All right. So that was my first thing for the utility. For the daily driver, I went with a Mazda CX-50. Again, for about 43,000. We've talked about Mazda has this really jewel-like quality. You get it in the artisan red or the soul red. Either one is fine by me. I didn't think of anything outside of Mazda when I came to that daily driver. That's really where I wanted to go. And I went with the CX-50 because um I don't know, the CX-5 is the current generation is about to into fifth grade, I think here. It is about 10
Yeah.
years old, right? More or less. Uh, Beautiful still, don't get me wrong, but I want something that's newer and they're equivalent in my mind, and I think in the market. So that's where I went with the daily driver. And plus, it fit my carport. So which I don't think the Ranger will do. So then I have to get that fun car. Now, my first thought was to go for a 911, but I 911s are just wildly expensive. And if I've already spent about $86,000, I don't have enough to buy a 911 is really what it comes down to it. So interestingly enough, um, the base Panamera is $110,000. Fits right in the budget. Can hold more than two people, so that's good. Has that cool wing thing in the back that comes up when you go fast, which sells me right there. Um, and I think it's a great looking design. The current generation. It is a little bit long in tooth, but it's how many times did does Porsche change their designs over the years, right? Um, not many. So that's what. And then today I had some thought like, is that really? Yeah. So a Macan, the top end Macan Turbo Electric is 105,000. So I could stay within the budget. And a coworker has a Macan, which just looks awesome. And I've heard other people describe it as kind of a sports sedan, and it really kind of is. Um, with a little bit of SUV thrown in there. So that's where I ended up, and those were my three cars. And I'd have to move because I don't have three places to park them. But Jeff doesn't either, and Glenn has a tiny garage. So we're all lights of fancy here. So
What a huge driveway. My God, the driveway is it makes no sense. I have like a half mile of driveway in this little tiny garage. Anyway, I digress. Those are great choices. The CX-50 made my short list too. It's just And I'm with you that over the CX-5, it's just more up to date. And I like that it kind of gives you a little station wagon vibe, which I know works for you, Douglas.
Mhm,
So, yeah.
mhm.
Can I
Cool.
tell you one of my favorite features of modern Mazdas? We should have talked about this in the Miata episode, but it just occurred to me. Hey, I'm sure you have recently followed a new Mazda and seen the turn signal come on. It's like a
Yeah,
heartbeat.
Yeah.
yeah. And because it's
Cool.
probably LEDs and they've designed the LEDs to do that.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
it's something that kind of doesn't cost any money, really. If you're going to set up the car, you might as well just program it that way. But it's just a little something that gives that car a little bit of a personality and a little
Mhm.
bit of, oh, that's different.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, I mean, everybody, not everybody, lots of companies are doing kind of sequential turn signals now. The Mach-E certainly does. Most Audis are now.
Mhm.
But that's a particularly special touch for
Yeah.
those cars.
They even
It's
have that on the CX-30, which is really one of the lower end, and it's
yeah,
it's that little pinpoint light that
Yep.
comes out and fades and comes out and fades. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
If
And
I
it's
may
it
add,
well,
um,
yes, but let me
go
say
ahead.
one thing. It is completely 180 degrees from the Mini Coopers that the arrows point in the wrong direction.
Wrong
And I
direction.
know that the
Such a
Union Jack
peeve.
flag, but they point to
Such
the
a
and that
peeve.
frees me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Glenn, go ahead.
I just wanted to say on the GX, we've got in the new design that's based off the Wildcat, we've got those big sweeping daytime running lights, which are white and very cool looking. Those turn yellow for the turn
Mm,
signal,
Oh,
and they
okay.
go
sure.
back to
Yeah,
being
yeah,
white,
yeah.
which I'd never seen before until I started
Hmm.
driving one of these. And I was like, I was
Hmm.
behind something that was reflective, and I'm like, wait a minute, oh my God, my car does this cool thing. I didn't realize. I'm always
I
driving. What would I know? And I'm
I
like,
will
and I'm
use my turn
turning my
signals
thing
more
on and off.
often.
Yeah. Yeah. People in front of me were like, what is he doing? So there are some cool things. I love touches like that, by the way. I know
Yeah,
it's dumb, but it's also not.
Not
yeah,
dumb. It's surprise and delight. Like that's a
Right.
that's a
Exactly.
exactly.
foundation of creating customer demand.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Right,
Absolutely.
because you have it's that tiny little thing that makes you feel warm inside, right?
Mhm.
It's that tiny little thing that, you know, some brands do quirky, and I say that as a Subaru driver. Um, you know, and which personally I kind of find less endearing, but I understand it. It's fine. But like that sort of stuff of like it gives you a relief. It gives the endorphins go, it makes it all kind of come together.
Right.
Great choices, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Uh
Before we go, can I add one little just a sidebar to it? I want to give a shout out to one of the cars on my list because in the recent Miata episode, we talked about keeping the DNA of the car alive for so long. And one of the cars on my daily driver list was the Audi A4.
mhm,
And I think that's a model that has really, I mean, the initial A4 years ago was a dynamite car and a looker, and everyone bought it. And Audi's managed to hang on to that for the most part over the years.
mhm,
If
mhm,
not the A4, then the A3, which is actually closer in size to the original A4. Both good cars, but
mhm.
they were up there on my list. And that's saying a lot because, well, no, my older Audi from years ago was a nightmare. We owned an Audi A3. It was a 2006, and it was an excellent car. Drank oil, but other than that was the engine. The 2.0 turbo was just oil. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So back to you, Doug.
All right. Well, thank you, Glenn. All right,
You're welcome.
gentlemen. This is I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you to our audience for in joining us in this endeavor. You can watch older episodes of Car-Pinionated on our YouTube channel. Just look that up. And with that, we will see you later.